Coming up on this morning's Cowboys Report, several injury updates we want to get into for the Cowboys and the Raiders before their Monday Night Football matchup. We'll go a little bit more in-depth on the offensive tackle talk. We've mentioned the right tackle battle that's ongoing. I want to also tie Tyler Guyton into that conversation and the likelihood that there's going to have to be some more Cowboys roster moves that come at some point in the not-too-distant future. We'll again go into what some of those could end up being. Before we dive into it, we are in a battle in everything this week, frankly, against the Raiders report, and they've got a slight lead over us. We'll call it 1,500. I think we can catch that on today's show, so help us get there. Like today's video, please, and thank you. Free, simple, and easy to do. Let's dive into the Cowboys injury news then. The first injury report is out. As a reminder, the first one comes out on Thursday, last night, as opposed to Wednesday because they're playing on Monday, so everything is a bit delayed. Maybe the number one injury to monitor here is Solomon Thomas. He did not participate at all on Thursday with a calf injury. He was off with the rehab group. He kind of suffered that injury very quietly against the Cardinals. I think only like one of the reporters even tweeted it out mid-game. Did not return. I think this also indicates likelihood that he's not going to be able to play. We'll know more for certain Friday, later today, Saturday. But I think real chance Solomon Thomas unable to go against the Cardinals. We will monitor that. Dante Fowler was limited with a shoulder injury. He kind of left the game, came back in against the Cardinals. So probably something I have to manage. Wouldn't read too much into it. Progress for Alijah Clark, which does bode well for the Cowboys. And we'll get to the whole safety room in general here. Limited on the Wednesday practice. Normally means you play on Sunday, obviously Thursday to Monday now, the adjustments there. But that's promising there for Alijah Clark. Donovan Wilson, who has been managing that elbow and shoulder injury, he was limited. And Malik Hooker, who the Cowboys have opened up the 21-day practice window for, also limited with a toe injury. He remains on IR, at least for the time being. The Cowboys technically have one safety who is not on the injury report right now. Knock on wood, that is Marquise Bell at the moment. It is a extremely limited group right now with just injuries and medical. I am curious to see if the Cowboys kind of maybe rush Malik Hooker back out there on the field. They need somebody. They need his better play in the safety room. It hasn't been good safety play in general, but they're so banged up and so injured. I'm going to monitor. Going into the week, I thought, no way. But then with Wande Thomas going on the non-football illness list, maybe they have to get him back out there sooner than I would have thought originally. So will Malik Hooker play against the Raiders? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know in the comment section of today's show. It's the pinned comment, by the way. Other injuries to watch. Ajani Cornelius has been kind of limited all season long with knee, so I guess it's both knees that are bothering him somehow. Tyler Smith also limited with that knee injury. Would not be surprised if today's practice he's upgraded to full. That knee has kind of been bothering him dating back into training camp with whatever it is. Maybe he's more like 90%. They're not quite to the full-on Tyron Smith strategy of like, just don't practice at all and then play in the game. But that is something the Cowboys continue to manage there. Perrion Winfrey was full with his back injury, and I do wonder if the uncertain status of Solomon Thomas means the Cowboys could activate Winfrey this week. He's in the midst of his window. They don't have to do it this week, but that is an option for the Cowboys to bring Winfrey into the fold for the first time all year since he got hurt earlier in the season. Shavon Revel, full with a knee injury. He is listed on there, but he's a full participant. Same with DeMarvion Overshown. Is worth mentioning that both of those players have been activated to the 53-man roster. They're going to play. Barring, I would even call it a setback at this point, a new injury. Both guys will be out there. It sounds like they're both going to be active, and I'm excited to see how they play as well. Raiders injury report. One notable update that I will include here, not actually on here is Geno Smith. So the quad contusion is fine. Cody Lindenberg, the linebacker, kind of backup, did not participate on Thursday's practice with an Achilles issue. Tyler Lockett was limited. Maybe not great news for the Cowboys, but good news for the Raiders. Dylan Parham, one of their offensive linemen who I was not sure was going to be able to go from what Pete Carroll had said previously, was a full participant. So he should be out there and makes life a little bit easier for the Raiders offensive line and a bit more challenging for the Cowboys defensive line. We'll spend some more time on that in our preview later this week. Today's show is made possible by PrizePicks. The hard-hitting football action is even better with PrizePicks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. Keep the season rolling on PrizePicks by getting $50 instantly in lineups after you play your first $5. It's simple to play. You pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. 2 is the power play, like producer Aidan cooked up here. Brock Bowers more than receiving yards. Javonte Williams more than rushing yards as well. PrizePicks is the only app to offer stacks. Pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup if you so choose. So if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Go download the PrizePicks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Let's go to the offensive line for some trench play talk here. Brian Schottenheimer has confirmed that there is an open competition at right tackle right now, which I think we all expected after the Cowboys had benched Terence Steele against the Cardinals and inserted Nathan Thomas into that right tackle spot. This sets up a Terence Steele versus Nate Thomas battle for the rights to face Maxx Crosby a lot, which is not a matchup I want to see, and I would hope the Cowboys' game plan is to chip and help against one of the premier pass rushers. Otherwise, I question a lot about the Cowboys' offensive mindset. I don't think Terence Steele played well against the Cardinals. These are the PFF numbers. Even there were also just some losses that like Dak stepped up properly, and not even sure you could count as a hurry, frankly. He was not good in that game against Arizona. And the first drive Nathan Thomas stepped in, thought he was solid. After that drive for Nathan Thomas, it was not good. He really struggled against the Arizona Cardinals. Terence Steele has not been good enough this year. He has not been the type of player that the Cowboys paid him to be, especially as a run blocker. Like, he needs to be better as a run blocker. You brought him into the fold to, or I should say kept him in the fold, to be an elite run blocker and a get by with him pass protector. Right now, he's a not really getting by pass protector and like barely average run blocker. So what's the benefits there? I am curious. The staff seems to like Nathan Thomas a lot. This guy that was drafted from the Mike McCarthy regime. McCarthy was hyped about him. They had him as a guard. They've made him back into a tackle. He's kind of flipped around a little bit there. Don't know if he's as comfortable at right tackle as left tackle. We'll kind of come back to that here. But if you think you know what Terence Steele is, you're going to want to figure out what Nathan Thomas is before the end of the season. So right now, who do you want as the right tackle? TS for Terence Steele, NT for Nathan Thomas. There's a big price difference right now, but once you get into the season, I don't care about the money. Like, the money is what it is. Like, I'm not worried about that the same way I am in the offseason. Let me know. Who's your right tackle? TS or NT? I do want to mention Tyler Guyton because I know there's going to be write-ins for, put Tyler Guyton at right tackle. In general, I'm actually not as intrigued by that for a couple of different reasons. A, I do think you're seeing better play from Tyler Guyton. I think he has been better compared to last year. I think even like cut the 8 games he's played in half, 4-4, he's been better in these last 4 games. Guyton's issues remain 2, 3, really more like 4 times a game. He just loses, and he loses fast, and he loses ugly. And you can lose as a tackle in the NFL. Lose slowly. That way it's not as obvious and your quarterback does a better job. A lesser quarterback would have taken more sacks than what Tyler Guyton has allowed so far this season. But there have been better plays in the run game. There's been better pass protection. He's actually solid against Nick Bonito, which I was very much worried about. He gets left on an island a decent amount, more than you might expect given his overall play. But he was a developmental tackle coming out of Oklahoma. I've seen developmental growth. It hasn't happened as quickly as it did for Tyler Smith. We were probably spoiled on that one. It's also worth mentioning this. Tyler Guyton, because he didn't play much in Oklahoma, has actually played more snaps in the NFL and in college at left tackle than he has at right tackle. So we're not really like putting him back in his natural spot. Like, he also did play left tackle for Oklahoma as well, by the way. I think all of his issues, the lunging, the dropping of the head, the almost headbutting at times, those aren't fixed like because it's a footwork issue and going to right tackle. Like, they're still there. Now, if you get to the offseason and you draft a first-round tackle with your first pick, which I don't really know if I want to do, and that guy's left tackle, like it's Spencer Fano or whatever, like, okay, different conversation. Right now, I actually could leave him at left tackle and hope that the general upward trend continues. But I believe in democracy. So where would you play Tyler Guyton? Let me know in the comments section. LT, left tackle, obviously. RT is right tackle. We mentioned Malik Hooker earlier. I want to kind of come back to this here. And Perrion Winfrey. Both those guys could return as early as this week, or in the case of Hooker, in the next 3 weeks-ish. I guess it's like 20 days now, whatever. Like, you're going to have to make some moves here. Now, we did mention this briefly on it, or not briefly, a full video on it earlier this week, some cut and IR candidates. I'm going to tweak my list here in just a second. But if you haven't already, make sure you guys are subscribed so you see videos like that, videos today, multiple videos each and every single day, and our Cowboys versus Raiders live watch party. Hit that sub button if you haven't already. The 5 names I had mentioned, and I've kind of pulled off Elijah Clark because they put Wanye Thomas there instead. I wouldn't be shocked if Ajani Cornelius is one of the names. Like, he's been on that injury report for weeks, almost months now. Like, he's the 10th offensive lineman, easy IR stash. If it's not Cornelius, Adenijai could be an option there. If Solomon Thomas is healthy, which he could be an IR candidate, I guess, but I feel like they would have done that already. Jay Toia, DT, he can, be the odd man out with Perrion Winfrey. I don't know if you'd cut it. Maybe you invent an injury there. Triquez Bridges and Damone Clark are kind of bigger picture options of, hey, what happens if Trayvon Diggs comes back, if Jack Sanborn comes back, if Josh Butler somehow comes back? There's too many bodies there at that point. So those are some names to monitor, whether it's an injury stash or outright cut to make room for the Cowboys' other injured guys returning to the 53-man roster.